Yes, yes,
Okay. So tell me what you're looking at on my screen.
yes,
I want to make sure you're looking at the right thing.
yes, yes. Your status is open.
Okay. So this is the power dialer. Long story short, this is how you're going to increase that 70 to 80 calls per day. So
Okay,
Kenzie Hickey, awesome last name, I know. This is the first lead we're going to call on today. And when we're ready to dial, we're just going to click dial. 30 seconds go by and she doesn't answer and we want to leave a voicemail. We're going to click leave voicemail and we can choose a voicemail to leave. They're pre-recorded voicemails. And as a rep, as soon as I get the feed on Kenzie's answering machine, I click on one of those and it disconnects me from the line, leaves that picture perfect voicemail, and I can click save and next, move on to my next call, and now we're already on to lead number 2.
okay,
So I'm ready to dial on lead number 2. I'll click dial. Let's say Keon Worley does not answer either. I'll just click disconnect. Maybe I don't want to leave a voicemail this time, but say I want to send an email. So now I'll just click this little email button. I'll choose an email I want to send. I click on that. Now I have a picture perfect email that I can send. I can edit it if I want. I don't have to though. And all I have to do is click send, log the call very quickly, and now I'm on to call number 3 already. So we can go from call to call to call very rapidly by
okay,
automating a lot of the manual tasks that your sales reps are already having to do.
okay,
That's the essence of the power dialer. What questions do you have so far?
okay. What about, schedule the follow-ups, like, if one customer had told to call today, right? So how that leads will come to the power dialer?
Can you ask that one more time?
Okay. My question is that if we had already, contacted the leads, then he had told that today, like today is a date like 28, right? So you call me on to 28 around 1 o'clock. So how can we can schedule the callback?
So if I heard you correctly, the question was if this lead asks us to call back in a
Yes,
couple of days, how
yes,
do we make sure that happens? Is that right?
yes.
Okay, great question. So let's say that happens with Keyshawn Gorman. Let's say I dial on Keyshawn. I get a hold of him. He says, hey, can you call me back tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Sure, I can do that. So I'm going to disconnect the call. And as soon as that disconnects, I'm going to click set callback right here, right where my mouse is hovering. I'm going to select the callback date, which is tomorrow. He asked me to call back at 2, and then I'm going to click set callback. So as soon as I click set callback, Keyshawn Gorman, this lead, comes into the dialer for the rep who did this at 2 p.m. tomorrow sharp. And up by Keyshawn's name in red letters, it's going to mark this as a callback so that your sales rep knows that this call should be treated differently. This call is a callback they had yesterday. Maybe they can look at their notes. This person told me to call back Friday at 2 p.m.
Okay,
So now I can click correct contact, save and next, and that lead feeds back into the dialer tomorrow at 2 p.m. Does that answer your question? Was that helpful?
yes, yes. My second question is
Okay.
second question is that how we can see the notes that what we had brought about Kevin in the previous conversation.
Can you ask that again? Like I said, I'm having a pretty hard time hearing you.
Okay. So my question is that how agent can check the leads previous notes, like previous call logs details, when we had called, what kind of conversation we had done with that lead and all these.
Okay. So I'm not sure if I heard you correctly, so tell me if this is right. Are you asking about how can you tell what has happened on this lead before as far as like activity history, calls that have been placed already, that kind of thing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great question. So we have 2 ways to do that. The first way is your reps can add a note every time they make a call. So maybe you want to add a note. We call Kevin, no answer, send email. When I click OK, now that's logged right here. The better way, though, is that at the bottom of this, and this isn't set up because this is just a demo account, it's going to show an activity history for your lead. And any time you either call this lead or send an email or leave a voicemail, it auto-logs that activity history, and your reps will be able to see it at the bottom right here. So they'll be able to see when a call was placed, and what time, and what voicemail was left, when emails were placed, what specific emails were actually sent, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And do you guys track the do you guys track the email open, website tracking, and all things?
Can you ask that again?
Okay. I'm putting my question in the chat box.
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. I have put down my question.
Oh, great question. So the answer is yes. Whenever I send in, yeah, okay, so we do both of those. So to answer your question in a little bit more depth than just a yes answer, any email you either send from the Power Dialer or whatever email client you're using, you don't have to send it through the Power Dialer for emails to be tracked. Once you guys become an InsideSales.com customer, anytime one of your users sends an email really in any way out to a lead or a prospect or a customer, that email gets tracked. So they get notifications for number one, email opens, number two, website tracking, click-throughs on links in those emails, downloaded attachments, and then finally they'll get notified when that email is forwarded internally.
Okay. And my other, can you get notification?
Yeah, those pop up very similarly to other email tracking technologies. So it'll be kind of like a browser plugin for your email client. What email client are you guys using?
Like basically we use Outlook.
Okay, perfect. So in your Outlook, your reps will have a little sidebar that they can either hide or display, and that's where their feed of notifications will appear. They'll be real time. And I can send you, so I don't have a way to show you that right now, just because I would probably have to show you my actual email, and that they won't let me do that over here. So I can send you a screenshot of what that looks like as soon as we get off, or not as soon as we get off the call, but probably at some point today. Would that be helpful?
Okay. It cannot be integrated in Inside Sales?
So I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you?
So can these
inside sales?
okay, can these all activities attach to the leads in with Inside Sales?
So are you asking if the email tracking solution integrates with InsideSales.com and logs all the activities?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's integrated directly. In fact, it's part of the product. So anytime you guys send an email from Outlook or the Power Dialer, it doesn't matter which, it'll be logged in the activity history of the lead record.
Okay, and what about tracking? Tracking activities also put down in the system?
Yes.
Okay, so can we have a one lead score or something like that?
You say lead score?
Yes.
So lead score, that's another great question. Lead scoring for our standalone product, which is what we're looking at, probably won't be available until next year. We currently do have lead scoring already available for our Salesforce.com customers. Sounds like you're not a Salesforce customer right now, so unfortunately we don't have that available quite yet for this particular standalone. It is in the roadmap though.
because it helps us to segregate.
Do you guys currently use lead scoring through like marketing automation or anything like that?
We plan to use that. We plan to use that.
You want to use it? Okay. Now, so in that particular case, if you're looking to use a lead score to, in a marketing automation use case, a marketing automation tool is a pretty good bet. Now, the Power Dialer can segregate your customers based on just about any criteria you guys have. So if you guys have a lead scoring tool, we'll be able to dial from highest lead score to lowest lead score. Now, that's not the only way we can segregate your leads. We can segregate them in any way you want. Meaning, if you want to call on, say, homeowners in Southern California from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock, because that's maybe when the reports say they answer the phone the most, you can set that as a one-time priority, and those leads will get sucked into the Power Dialer from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock automatically. If you got new leads in that match that criteria, they'll also be pulled in at that time. It automatically sorts your leads.
Okay.
It's going to be dynamic.
Okay.
So you'll be able to set different time blocks, and stack them on top of each other. So if you want to call from the East Coast into the West Coast throughout the day, starting with the East Coast, you can set certain time blocks, say East Coast, 8 o'clock until, say, 12 o'clock. Midwest, 12 o'clock until 3, West Coast, 3 to 5, and you can get more granular than that, as granular as you want.
Okay.
So the Neuralytics, the neuroscience part of this, that's only going to be available for Salesforce.com customers. So, sounds like you've done a lot of research. I'm pretty impressed by your question. So kudos to you. Unfortunately, we're not going to have that available quite yet on this particular product.
Okay. Okay. So how, Chris, we can increase our sales and our efficiency by by using Inside Sales platform? What can be the particularly we are like does we integrate Asterix in Power Dialer?
Great question. So, do you guys have 10-digit phone numbers assigned to each one of your reps? 10-digit direct inward dial numbers is what they're called.
We have a PRI.
Okay. So the way it'll work is if you look over here at dialer settings, your rep will plug in their phone number right here, whatever station phone they're currently using, and then they'll click save. Now, when they click save, the first time they click dial that day, they'll receive an inbound phone call on the phone that they're currently using. And that inbound phone call is from the InsideSales.com servers. The server is calling them. When they answer their phone, that connects them into the Power Dialer, and now they don't have to hang up their physical phone. They can click dial and disconnect all day and never have to actually hang up their physical phone. They can just click save and next, click dial, disconnect again. Now, the key is you guys have to have 10-digit phone numbers. So if your reps have, a general company line plus an extension, that's not going to work. It has to be a 10-digit phone number I can call them directly with. If you guys do have extensions like that, it's a pretty easy fix, unfortunately. be a mobile number, but you do need a 10-digit direct number for every agent. Yeah. So it kind of depends on what kind of extension you have. It'll work. Oh, okay. So I understand your question as far as extension goes. Yes, the answer is yes. This will work with a soft phone just fine. As long as you guys have a 10-digit phone number, you can use any telephony you want. As long as each rep has a 10-digit phone number for the free PBX, then it'll work just fine. It's not really an integration. It's just we're piggybacking off of your telephony. So I'm not really familiar with free PBX. The one thing you guys need to know is if each rep has a 10-digit phone number that I can call directly and it goes straight to them without doing like a phone tree or navigation or anything like that, then you'll be able to use it. Now, are you talking about your CRM? No. Telephony, by telephony, I just mean your phone. So you won't need an API integration or anything like that. Free PBX will work. If that's what you guys are using for your phone, that's fine.
I can't understand that how calls will be placed via power dialer, you know?
Yeah. So the way it works is your reps will take their free PBX phone number, like I said, as long as it's a 10-digit phone number, and plug it in right here, and they'll click save.
Okay, understood.
So as soon as that's saved, yeah. Now when we click dial the first time that day, I'm not sure what this is loading. When we click dial the first time that day, so if I just click dial, my phone, my PBX or my soft phone or whatever the case is going to receive an inbound phone call from the InsightSales.com server. And so your rep will answer that, and now they're connected into the power dialer, and that's how it gets them connected into the system. From there, it starts dialing outwardly to your lead.
Okay.
No back-end integration is needed. Maybe I'm just not understanding what free PBX is. That's what you guys use for your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you won't need, it'll integrate with it. It's not like a pre-built integration. You guys just have to have, you can use that telephony with it. I've never heard of Go Auto that way.
Okay. And what about, leaderboard and all things?
one in the demo account. So 1 second. If I had known you were interested in gamification, I would have had one ready already. In fact, I can just pull one up right here. I'll save this. Give me just a sec. Okay. So the leaderboards are going to look like this. And this is just a screenshot of what one looks like. Kind of hard to see because I just found this on the internet just a second ago, so I got a new computer.
I had seen on the
a better
website.
way to show you this. Say that again.
I had seen on website this image.
So a better way for me to illustrate what gamification looks like is I can send you our gamification video for you to look at. And you'll get to see the leaderboards, but you'll also get to see them changing dynamically as the day goes on. And it's a much better way to illustrate how they look like. And the leaderboards are power standing. So that's part of the power standing. The second part of power standing is on the dialer itself. So if I open up the dialer again, what criteria are you looking to measure on power standing? Yeah, so you'll get a list of about 40 measures that you can track on your leaderboards, and you'll be able to cycle through those. So you can display metric number 1 for say 20 seconds, and then have it cycle over to metric number 2, and you'll have the choice of about 40 different metrics. So everything you told me you want to see so far, you'll be able to. The metrics, the power standings will also be displayed along the top of the dialer up here. So if I hover over this, I can see that I've made 4 dials per day and I'm in first place.
Okay.
Have you used this system before?
Which one?
InsideSales.com.
No, not at all. I had seen your mostly videos. Mostly videos I had seen on your website.
Sure. Yeah. And you'll be able to do both those recording and barging. All your calls can be recorded and placed in the activity history. As a manager, you can quote unquote barge calls. For me to show you that, we have to get up to the next call. I'm running out of time, unfortunately. So what I would recommend as a next step is let's schedule a 45-minute conversation where we can go a little bit more in depth on this. I had just prepared kind of a 30,000-foot overview. I didn't know you were so educated on InsideSales.com. So you have some very good questions, and we can get into more detail on those on the next call. What does tomorrow look like for you?
Tomorrow this time will be fine.
Let me go ahead and check my calendar real quick. You're on Eastern time, is that right? Let's see. Can you do 2 hours after this? So today we started at 8 a.m. Mountain time. Can you do 10 a.m.? Which if you're on East Coast would be noon. No, sorry, that would be, let's see, I'm actually looking at 11 a.m. Mountain time. Okay. Then we may have to look at next week. I can do the same time we did today on Monday, if that works for you.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll send you a calendar invite. Go ahead and accept that as soon as you get it. And we'll go a little bit more in depth on this on Monday.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk then, Pratik. It was fun talking today.
Thank you, same here, Chris.
Hey, see you later.
See you. હલી ગયો કે આટલું બધું કેટલી રીતે રિસર્ચ કર્યું છે તમે આ પ્રોડક્ટ વિશે? I think you have you used our product or what? હું એ જોવા માંગુ છું હું આપણે એની પ્રોડક્ટ તો લેવા નથી એટલે મોટી પણ એનો વાપરે